Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So we use.
I think it's fair to say that Europe today is viewed by many as a miracle. Not supernatural, but made by the hard work of men and women who in the last several decades have created an extraordinary international effort that is evidenced by this Parliament and the work that is done. To be prepared to engage in an intensive way on behalf of progress toward a two-state solution. With specific regard to your reference to settlements, it has been the policy, which I reiterated, that we consider such settlement activity to be unhelpful, and that will be on the list of matters that we take up with the Israeli government. It is difficult for the Palestinian Authority or the Israelis to deal with Hamas because they will not accept the Quartet principles or the Arab League principles. And that makes their participation impossible. It is a personal commitment. It is something that I think the entire world must understand, and that means we must support and protect Israel's security. You cannot expect any nation to make any agreement that does undermine their security, and that we have to recognize and fulfill the aspirations of the Palestinian people by producing a viable state in which they can pursue their own destiny. Our engagement with Russia in no way undermines our support for countries like Georgia or the Baltics or the Balkans or anywhere else in Europe to be independent, free, make their own decisions, and chart their own course.
And I'd like to know whether you and the US support the increasing autonomy and eventual independence of European nations such as Wales, Scotland, Catalonia. Thank you very much.
I am not going to interfere in the internal affairs of any European country.
How do you see the foreign policy of the US changing in the coming years in the field of human rights, and in particular sexual rights and gay and lesbian rights? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, human rights is and will always be one of the pillars of our foreign policy, and in particular, the persecution and discrimination against gays and lesbians is something that we take very seriously. It is terribly unfortunate, as you just recited, that right now in unfortunately many places in the world, violence against gays and lesbians, certainly discrimination and prejudice are not just occurring, but condoned and protected. Democracies have to be careful that we don't become so process-driven and overwhelmed by the procedural aspects of decision-making that we are, in effect, paralyzed. And so it is, for example, going back to the gentleman's question about climate change and energy security. It took a crisis for us to have the political will to begin to make the investments that we knew at least 10 to 20 years ago were inevitable.